What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about Hadrian's Wall. How did I not know about this? How did this just pop out of nowhere? From my point of view, I blame the American education system on this one. Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this wall? No one told me. No one asked me if this was okay. No, I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding about not knowing about this wall. Hadrian's Wall. I wanted to Google this because it's like discovering that the Great Wall of China randomly exists in Britain. It's a marvel, an engineering marvel. Sounds amazing. I found a couple of short videos that are gonna hopefully explain to me what's going on here. Why was Hadrian's Wall built? The Roman wall that split Britain into two parts. Sounds dramatic. What was the wall? Yeah, why is the wall built? How was it built? How big is it? I have a lot of questions, but enough rambling on and complaining about my lack of knowledge. I can sort that out right now by gaining the knowledge through videos. And with that being said, let's take a look.
The Emperor Trajan presided over the greatest military expansion in Roman history. When he died in AD 117, his successor Hadrian was left with the daunting task of defending the empire.
Oh wow, what a way to set it up. So there was a person named Hadrian, Hadrian's Wall. So this has something to do with preventing Roman expansion.
Special attention needed to be paid to the northernmost frontier in Britannia, where there was resistance from the barbarian natives. Hadrian came to Britain in AD 122 and decided to solve the barbarian problem by building a giant wall.
Barbarian problem? Barbarian problem. So, Hadrian is Roman, in Britannia, deciding to build a giant wall, because what else are you gonna, what else would you do? Build a giant wall, right? Why not? To stop barbarians who are like coming from Scotland, basically?
Project without precedents in Europe. Initially, most of the wall was to be built in stone, but the western 30-mile section was to be made from turf. In front of both was a deep ditch, and at each mile, a gate was protected by a small guard post called a mile castle.
Wow.
Between each pair of mile castles lay two towers. The stone wall was to be 15 Roman feet high and 10 Roman feet wide.
Dude, I just don't understand. How come some of the most incredible feats of human engineering in history are so old? Like, I guess it's because people didn't have as much to do back then. See, that kind of sounds like a joke, but seriously. And also, back then, people were kind of forced to do stuff they didn't want to do by people in power. Anyway, you can go down that rabbit hole all day. But some of the most incredible structures, Great Wall of China, pyramids, Hadrian's Wall. So it really does remind me of the Great Wall of China, building guard towers and entrances every mile, 10 feet thick? 10 Roman feet thick, excuse me. And how tall?
The stone wall was to be 15 Roman feet high and 10 Roman feet wide.
Oh my gosh.
The building of Hadrian's Wall was a complicated process that involved the entire Roman army of Britain, approximately 15,000 men. These men were not just highly trained soldiers, but also skilled craftsmen.
What? The soldiers built the wall too? They are skilled craftsmen. My goodness. I'm not sure if they've said yet how long the wall is. It's probably outrageous, right?
It was decided that forts, such as Chester's, would be placed astride the wall, each housing as many as 1,000 men.
Wow.
The designers had to contend with fierce torrents of fast rivers, hard rock, and mile upon mile of rolling hills. Hadrian's Wall defined the edge of the empire in Britannia and gave the Romans control over customs, immigration, and smuggling. From the point of view of the
Wow, it's amazing that, like, it's amazing how straightforward this kind of stuff is. Like, you're trying to define your territory and your border, so it's like, build a giant wall.
barbarians north of the wall, it must have seemed like an almost superhuman accomplishment.
Right. That's a good point. I'm going to play that again because I missed some of it. To the barbarians, it's like, whoa, chill, guys. Like, what are we doing here? building like one of the biggest walls in history.
Barbarians north of the wall, it must have seemed like an almost superhuman accomplishment,
Yeah.
and a daunting symbol of Rome's imperial might.
It's a superhuman accomplishment to me too, barbarians. Don't feel sad. You're not alone. Oh, that's it? Wait, why did the video just end? What? Why did the video just end suddenly? They're like frozen on this picture. All right, well, it's a spitting image of the wall right there, right? With the banner looking down at the barbarians. Wow. Okay. Well, that was a good little introductory video. I'm glad I have a few other short ones here, because that kind of wet my palate, as you might say, dipped my toe in to the whole Hadrian's Wall puddle, if we're talking continually in in turns of phrase here. Okay, this video is, well, first of all, I gotta give this first video a like. It was by English Heritage. Very nice. This one's by the Smithsonian Channel, probably pretty high quality, to be honest. The Roman wall that split Britain into two parts. Okay.
For almost 80 years, the Romans tried to crush the ancient Britons, but with only mixed results. The southern part of the country was taking Roman rule relatively well. But up here in the north, not so much. Something had to be done about the mystical Druid-led natives.
Okay.
In the year AD 1...
Some people call them barbarians. Some people call them mystical Druid-led natives. I'm getting mixed signals here.
122, the Emperor Hadrian himself came here and came up with a very Roman solution.
Yeah. Wow, okay, we're actually getting pictures of it now. Look at this. Wow, they really did literally just go across the landscape and build the wall. Well, actually, it's pretty obvious they purposefully built it on top of the hills and stuff, which would have just made it harder. But I guess tactically make more sense. You're kind of looking down at the enemy, and they built ditches, right? There were ditches.
Build a bloody big wall.
Yeah.
It took 6 years and 15,000 men, but when it was finished, it was the ultimate statement of Roman power.
6 years? That's it? 6 years. Back then. That's amazing. I bet they had people working on this literally constantly. I mean, what'd they say? They had like 10,000 troops working on this. I don't know. Looking at it here, you know, I might be able to jump over that wall. No. Just kidding. I am assuming that a lot of it has degraded, however you say that, and fallen down over the years.
Stretching 73 miles from coast to coast, it split the country in two.
73 miles. I mean, how many bricks is that? 73 miles across, like 10 feet deep. Man.
A permanent barrier separating the more docile south from the badly behaved north.
Okay. Right.
Nick.
Clive.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Dr. Nick Hodgson, senior archaeologist at Tyne and Wear Museums, literally wrote the book on Hadrian's Wall.
Wow.
Actually, he's written two.
It's amazing you can just go to it still to this day, obviously. Like, of all the things that have ever been built, this is going to be there for a very, very, very long time. But what an amazing part of history. And you could, like, run 4 marathons to get from end to end.
And a pamphlet.
Well, this is the wall then.
This is Hadrian's Wall.
Yes, excellent. We've gone to the right place.
It's hard to miss. Hard to miss it.
Well, it's a very beautiful structure as it snakes away into the distance, and a substantial structure in that sense. But it's only, this high. I mean, with a little bit of an effort, you could easily get over that.
Some of it's gone.
Oh.
And basically...
That's funny. They made the same joke. Yeah, I could probably get over this wall, but no. 10 feet high, man, that's ridiculous. Like that they actually did this. This sounds like something someone would make up and wouldn't happen because it's a little absurd, but there it is. Gigantic wall. Giant bricks. Still looks good.
Basically, what, this is 5 feet high?
Yeah.
It was 4 times this high.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
What? It was 4 times this height. Like 20 feet tall. Man.
20.
I mean, I'm just like thinking in my mind, picturing this, but 4 times taller? That would actually look crazy. Like scary.
20 feet high.
So what's happened? Has it sunk into the ground, or what's happened over
Well,
the years?
over the years, the stones have fallen off, been taken by local people to build walls and houses.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
The original wall was up to 20 feet high and
Wow.
8 feet wide.
8
It had a
feet wide.
fort every 7 miles, each housing a force of at least 500 men. And just to be on the safe side, every mile along the entire length of the wall, there were smaller forts and watchtowers.
Oh my gosh.
Not taking any chances, were they?
Wow. Just the way they built the wall into the landscape is like insane. It's beautiful in a way, honestly.
Between the ditch on the north side and the wall itself, it's been discovered that there was a system of obstacles,
Right.
sharpened branches set into pits.
So the equivalent of sort of
Right.
like barbed wire you might put on the wall nowadays.
and impenetrable entanglement. And if you
my
put all this
gosh.
together,
Yeah.
the whole package, it really has the appearance of a serious military obstacle.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like how do you defend like a 70-mile long stretch of territory? I think that's why I like the word absurd comes up, where it's like, how do you like protect that big of an area? They literally did it by building. I don't know how long the Great Wall of China is. This wall, is this like the second biggest man-made like fortification on Earth? It's gotta be up there.
The wall didn't completely end fighting in this part of the country, but it did give the Romans a highly fortified and permanent base from
Yeah.
which to start forcing through peace, or at least their version of it.
Yeah.
Standing here on the 21st century remains, it's hard to grasp just how big and intimidating this wall must have been.
Yeah, looking at it now. Oh, like he's saying, intimidating is an understatement. This thing is wild. I can absolutely see tourists and stuff like coming to visit this wall and like stealing part of the rock or taking a brick with them. Absolutely. That's actually probably why a lot of it is missing, to be honest.
Hard to grasp just how big and intimidating this wall must have been.
Yeah.
Luckily, at
Truly.
Vindolanda, there's a handy visual aid. A recreation of a section of Hadrian's Wall in its prime.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm beginning to get the idea. It really is quite big, isn't it?
Whoa. That's absurd. That's absurd. To think that it was like this. Like, but 70, 80 miles wide? 8 feet deep. That's insane. And in 6 years, 6 years they built it. I don't get it. That would, just to see it getting built would be crazy. Although you'd be like thrown back into medieval time where you died of plague or get stabbed with a sword, but at least you'd get to see some of Hadrian's Wall get built, right? Right. Okay. This was by the Smithsonian Channel, once again. I like this. That was really nice. That actually showed me the wall, which was like, I wasn't gonna let this be over until I saw some of the wall, and they had the little, the little recreation. That is wonderful. Wow. Ridiculous resources to build this. Are there any comments on this? Anybody talking about this? Anybody just seeing this for the first time? Am I the only one? I was literally typing how mediocre and useless... Oh, let me make this a little bigger, actually. How useless this wall would have been. And then I heard him saying it was 4 times this size. Exactly. I assumed it was bigger than, like, the decrepit version that exists right now. But still, I didn't know it was that big. Amazing how well built these walls were. Right. Even today, still in place. Ancient people were smarter than some would have us believe. Seriously, this is... I mean, this is arguably as impressive in a different way as modern man building a skyscraper or something. The tallest building is building something like this with the resources they had back then. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. When Hadrian proposed it, there better have been someone there who was like, wait, really? Are we really doing this? And Hadrian was like, yes, do it. And they did it. Inspiration for the wall from Game of Thrones. I mean, it looks like this Hadrian's Wall looks like something out of Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or a movie. It doesn't look real. Be cool to see it in real life, obviously. I grew up a few minutes from Hadrian's Wall. One thing many people get wrong is when they talk about Hadrian's Wall being the border between England and Scotland. It's not. Yeah, I kind of was getting that from the video. They weren't saying that it was a border of Scotland and England, but rather like the Romans had control of southern England, and then there was part of northern England and Scotland to the north that they did not have control over. And so they built this wall basically where that separation would have been. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm glad I get the history behind this too. But the engineering marvel of it all is what kind of boggles my mind. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if it boggled your mind a little bit too, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain, British culture, stuff in Britain that I've never seen or learned about before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.